Tourist destinations are places that are said to have the most beautiful sceneries and sights, the most amazing people, and the most interesting histories. Places like this are known to have visitors almost throughout the year, as people come to enjoy the environment while kicking back and having fun. Welcome back to the Crime Lab channel. In today's video, we will be looking at the story of the Hannah Witheridge and David Miller case. Nothing ruins a tourist destination faster than a murder case. When people go for vacations, they usually don't want to die there, and the same could be said for Hannah Witheridge and David Miller. These two victims went on a vacation they never came back from, and we will be looking at that story. The original name of Death Island is Koh Tao, also known as Turtle Island. This island is located in southern Thailand and is the smallest of 3 popular tourist islands in the Gulf of Thailand. The island of Koh Tao is referred to as a paradise by promoters for specific reasons. The island of Koh Tao is popular with backpackers and tourists, mostly for its marine life and scuba diving activities. It is known to receive about 500,000 visitors each year. The island has over 100 hotels and resorts and was believed to be the busiest diving center in Southeast Asia in 2014. On the outside, the island of Koh Tao has crystal clear waters and beautiful beaches, but this island also has a dark, more sinister reputation. This reputation became known when European tourists began to turn up dead or disappear during their time there. Over time, the British tabloids began to refer to the island of Koh Tao as Death Island. But what was the origin of this full story? It started with 2 British tourists, 23-year-old Hannah Witheridge from Hempstead, England, and 24-year-old David Miller from Jersey, a Crown dependency. They were both students who were backpacking in Thailand. Hannah had completed undergraduate studies in education at the University of East Anglia. She had started postgraduate studies in speech and language therapy at the University of Essex. In contrast, David had just completed his civil and structural engineering undergraduate degree at the University of Leeds and was starting a master's degree. David was traveling Southeast Asia with a friend after completing a 6-week work placement in Australia with a mining company, arriving in Thailand in August. According to reports, Hannah was traveling with 3 other friends, while David was traveling with 2 others. David and Hannah only met by chance when they and their friends stayed in adjoining rooms of a small backpacker complex called the Ocean View Bungalows, said to be overlooking the Sare Beach of Koh Tao. According to CCTV footage, David and Hannah were last seen at a bar called AC Bar with friends at a party on Sunday night with around 50 people, mostly foreign tourists. Reports from Major General Kaitapon Kosamang stated that the 2 victims were seen leaving together after 1 a.m. Their bodies were later discovered on Sare Beach between 4 and 5 a.m. by a Newt Burmese beach cleaner. According to the Thai police, the 2 victims were found half-naked with several deep wounds to their bodies near a beachside bungalow on the island of Koh Tao. A local police official told reporters that the victims had been murdered with a garden hoe found nearby on the island. Reports say that they died next to each other in the most horrific conditions, with Hannah being raped and beaten to death while David suffered blows to the head and was left to drown in the shallow surf. A bloody hoe was believed to be the principal murder weapon, and a wooden club was found near the bodies, along with 3 cigarette tips and a used condom. The police moved the bodies to prevent them from being swept up in the rising tide, while local residents blocked the pier to prevent the unidentified killers from leaving the island. An autopsy revealed that both victims were hit by a hard object, resulting in head and face wounds. DNA samples were collected from the bodies and sent to a police forensics lab for analysis. Due to the worries about how the murders and their investigations could affect tourism, the police were under pressure to produce results affecting how they conducted their investigations. They focused their investigations on foreign nationals, claiming that Thais wouldn't do this. Being an island with a large number of illegal migrants, the police began questioning these migrants, who complained that officers scalded them with boiling water during interrogations. However, these allegations were denied by the police. The police failed to find a match for any of the migrant workers and then focused their attention on Western tourists related to the victims. They stated that a British tourist had shared a room with David, labeling him a suspect and calling it a crime of passion. This resulted in said tourist becoming the subject of a nationwide manhunt, before the police quickly dropped the lead. With the pressure on the police, several other suspects were named, with a new one being presented every other day. Over 200 individuals on the island, many of them migrant workers, were tested in mass DNA testing. According to the CCTV footage analyzed by the police, 3 individuals were shown to be riding a motorcycle to 7-Eleven, where they bought beer and cigarettes, before going towards Sayre Beach. One of them, a man named Mau Mau, was found and interrogated by the police. He said he took the motorcycle, separated from the other 2 men before the murders occurred, and found them both home asleep by the time he returned. The next day, the police searched for the other 2 men, finding only one, a man named Zhao Lin. Zhao Lin admitted to being an illegal immigrant and was arrested, and his clothes and motorcycle were seized as evidence. The second man, Wai Fio, was believed to have left the island by boat the previous night, but was later found hiding on the boat. Both men were illegal migrant workers from Rakhine, Myanmar, who worked in the hospitality industry and had no prior criminal records. During an hours-long interrogation, the suspects confessed to the murders, stating that they were driven by a desire to rape the victim following sexual arousal when they saw the couple kissing on the beach. The police said the suspect's DNA matched a sample of semen taken from Hannah's body, the hoe, and cigarette butts found near the body. In the trial, the prosecution said the phone was found smashed at the home of a friend of Zhao Lin's. The police then forced the suspects to reenact the murder in front of the media, a move condemned by legal experts as prejudicing a fair hearing. After a meeting with their lawyers from Myanmar, the 2 men said they were tortured into a confession, and various domestic and international human rights groups have raised concerns about their interrogation. This raised some serious doubts about the evidence linking the 2 men to the murder of the 2 victims. However, Thai Metropolitan Police Bureau Deputy Commissioner Paul Majgen Suak Jingyudsuk denied the suspects had been coerced when speaking to the Thai National Human Rights Commission. He had been summoned by the commission on 4 previous occasions, but failed to appear. An 18-day trial began on 8 July 2015 in the Koh Samui Provincial Court. The process was filled with many inconsistencies and irregularities with the DNA samples, the CCTV footage, and the suspects' testimonies. Regardless, the 3 judges found Zhao Lin and Wai Fio guilty of murdering Hannah and David on 24 December 2015 and were given the death sentence. The DNA evidence primarily guided the conviction, and the court said it did not consider their confessions in making the judgment. Wai Fio was also convicted of theft for allegedly stealing a phone and sunglasses from Miller's body, and they were both charged with entering the country illegally, to which Wai Fio had already confessed. Zhao Lin was acquitted of this charge because he held a work permit for the 2 years preceding the murders. A lawyer defending the 2 men, Nakhon Chomphachat, said, "We will appeal as soon as we can. We have just got a copy of the court's verdict. It will take a bit of time to find loopholes to appeal." However, attempts to appeal the sentence to the High Court in 2017 were unsuccessful. The Supreme Court of Thailand maintained the sentence in August 2019, stating that the police handled the case correctly and the forensic evidence was clear, credible, and detailed. On 14 August 2020, the death sentences were converted to life imprisonment following the royal decree to commemorate King Vajiralongkorn's birthday and illustrate the king's clemency. This was the first in a supposed series of murders and disappearances that later gave the island of Koh Tao its name, the Death Island. Thank you for watching this video. Hit us up in the comment section and give us a thumbs up if you liked the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos,